Hi there. I'm Deanne from Four Sons Farm, and I'm here to tell you a bit about my property, or I should say, our property. Um, I'll tell you a bit about how we got it, what we've been doing here, and where we're headed. So I'll take you back a bit. The year is 2017. My husband and I have two young boys, and we have a 3 to 5 year plan. We want to buy some land or buy a house with some land, and that's our goal, to move closer to the city here but still live remotely. That we can maybe farm, have a few animals, but just something we just wanted to. We had a 3 to 5 year plan. And 2018, I got pregnant with twins, and very quickly, our family of four became a family of six. And all of a sudden, we had four boys, and we were driving our kids to the close city for hockey. So every winter, we were driving an hour to take our kids to hockey. The school our kids go to, it doesn't go to high school, so we would have to move anyways. So our 3 to 5 year plan very quickly became a 1 to 2 year plan. And the winter of 2018, my husband started looking for something out there. And we found this property. And because it was winter and obviously it was just a property, we couldn't, there was no road pushed in. We couldn't come and check out the land. So we really took a gamble. Everything that we could see from the front of the road was black spruce, tamarack swamp, and it really kind of spooked us having this bog as our frontage. We knew that if we did buy this property, we would have to put in a corduroy road. You couldn't just plow a road through it. It would have to be a specific type of road. And we were potentially looking at a lot of work. But having the swamp up front, it became our haggling feature. So in April of 2019, we became owners of 140 forested acres here. And that summer of 2019 and fall, we spent a lot of time hiking and clearing paths and breaking trail for a road to come in. And then that fall and winter, my husband worked on felling trees and building a corduroy road for us to come in. And that winter, we talked about what we wanted to do here for the following season. And I really wanted to live here. I wanted to come and set up camp and grow a garden and possibly have some animals. So we talked to a few friends and we found people who were interested in pigs. We had a buddy who had an old camper on his property. So he said you could have it. He actually even delivered it to us for free, but it was a disgusting camper. My husband had to gut it. We had to redo the roof, seal the roof, and we put down plywood flooring because the floor was all rotten. So I mean, it's not pretty, but it's livable and it keeps us dry and warm. So we had the camper moved in while it was still frozen, and we had pigs lined up. We made trades for pigs and such, and we started June, we started getting a lot of work done here. The work that we got done here, because there is no road, it wasn't easy. Everything had to be hauled in. We didn't have any money for infrastructure, for materials, so everything had to either be, well, it had to be built free. So we had a lot of people who, we'd pick up pallets from. My husband did a dock job and collected all of the dock boards that they were going to toss. Anything and everything that became someone's garbage was our treasure, and we would haul it here. Everything had to be loaded onto a quad trailer and quadded down the long road to the compound here. All of my gardens were built out of reclaimed material. All of my gardens were filled with soil that in the evening time when my husband got home from work, I would pack up with one or two of the older boys, and I would come here and we would shovel the soil off the truck into 5 gallon pails, and we would haul it almost 1,000 feet down the road, and then we would dump it into the garden beds here and do the same thing over again for night after night, what seemed like forever. Um, and it was hard, it was frustrating, it was backbreaking. There were a lot of tears shed, and just, when we thought things were going to be okay, we were going to have a garden in, our road was washed out, and they shut down the road, and I couldn't get in here to bring in soil. The plants that I did have here were just surviving on luck. um, but the water moved, and we got in about a week later, and started making progress again. And we originally lined up to get pigs in May, but when COVID happened, we think that they sold to the highest bidder. So we lost our pigs, and we ended up sourcing out more pigs, but they weren't going to be here till July, which, I mean, was fine. It put us 2 months behind schedule, but we wouldn't have been ready in May. I mean, we weren't even ready in July either. I mean, this whole adventure, this whole property, this whole farm has been bit off more than we could chew. And still is. Everything that we have done here, we have led with our hearts and not with our minds at all. And thankfully, for the most part, it's worked out. Um, but yeah, in July, our pigs came here. Um, and again, it still wasn't easy. My garden was being watered by a small creek over here. Um, and it would take us 6 hours to water our garden. So my husband had to water the garden one day, and he just said, screw it, and quickly dug me a well and got a water pump going. But it's so watering the garden went from 6 hours to 1 hour, but everything was still being hauled in. Plants were being carried in. I carried 80 tomato plants here by hand because I didn't want them getting smashed about in a quad trailer. So I carried each one, and they were planted in 5-gallon buckets, and we carried each one in. So it wasn't easy. Our family lived here from June to the middle of October when we harvested our pigs. But we had a blast. You know, uh, Rain, cold weather, muddy weather, you name it, we were here. We didn't have running water for food. We had running water for the garden and for the pigs, and we had running water that um, that we could boil water for cleaning dishes and boil water for bathing. But we still had to haul in water. But it was this was our life. This was our backyard. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. After we butchered our pigs, we packed up and went back home. And home is about an hour from here. And yeah, and so this past winter, we've spent a lot of time deciding on what we're going to do this year, what our goals are. Um, so this year, we plan on living here again. Earlier this year, we hope to be in by May, if not earlier. Um, and we'll be here, and we have 6, if not 8 pigs lined up. We'll do the same size garden. I will for sure expand it, but everything that was grown last year is all going to be vegetables. Anything that was flowers is going to be vegetables. We're going to move flowers elsewhere where we had the pigs. Um, I will plant a lot of flowers and stuff there and slowly start building up a pollinator garden. We have bees here. One of our hives is still thriving. The other one we lost, sadly. So we want to get that one hive back up and running and get them both really established, and hopefully we can pull honey off this year. Um, our goals are, we got to get a road in this year. The road has to be done. So my husband's starting to work on that right now as the road is still frozen. So while it's still frozen, it's a good time to get some work done on it, get gravel hauled in. Um, and yeah, what else can I tell you? Once our house sells, we are here forever. So we're hoping our house will sell this spring. Once our house sells, we start building here. Our home here is going to be solar powered. It'll be heated with a wood boiler system. We'll have a septic system. Cooking will be done by propane. We'll have propane for backup. If we have winters where we have a week with no sun. So we will have an off-grid home. Our long-term goals are that
We essentially want our homestead to be completely self-sufficient. And what that means to be self-sufficient is not just in a matter of food and energy, but for our farm to turn a dollar so that it's covering the expenses and taxes needed to run our farm. So we are researching multiple ways of doing this through garden, produce, meat sales, honey sales, artisanal products that we can make from our farm, such as candles, soaps, and oils. We're looking into the idea of raising sheep for wool and meat, chickens for meat and eggs, ducks, etc. And the great thing about being self-sufficient with animals is that the animals don't just provide meat for us or meat for a customer, but it creates a completely regenerative farm. We, us and the animals, will all work in unison to help our farm and the forest with pest and weed and land management. And then in turn, our garden thrives, our forest thrives, and our animals thrive. And then everything provides us with food, which in turn provides us an income. Therefore, we can put that money back into our farm, and it just keeps circling around. So that is a little introduction into how we came about getting our property, how it's evolved, and where we are headed. And I just want to say thanks so much for being here, for listening to our story. I hope you've enjoyed it all. You can find us on YouTube and on Instagram. You can also support us through both of those facets, but you can also find us on our website at www.foursonsfarm.store, where we sell a few things that we've made from our farm. And I just wish any of you here watching any of our videos the best of luck. We look forward to answering any questions you may have. And I hope that this offers you some guidance and some support, and know that we've all been at square one. You know, some of us may have 1 year under our belt or 10 years under our belt, but we all started off somewheres. And you can too. We're all learning, we're all in this together, and there's lots of material out there to help you. So thanks so much for being here. Bye.